This episode is sponsored by City Traders Imperium. CTI is a prop trading firm looking for profitable Forex traders who need more capital. CTI will back its traders up to $2 million, which is the most in the industry, and thousands of traders worldwide are trading their capital remotely from their own home. It's the most flexible funding provider in the industry, where any strategy is welcome and overnight or weekend positions are allowed. Plus, CTI doubles your account every time you hit 10% net gain, which you can scale up to $2 million. Click the link in the description to find out why City Trader offer the best funded trader program in the industry, or visit citytradersimperium.com. All right, folks, here we are. We've got Clayton Hall with us. We've just done a fantastic podcast there on Trading Nut, so there will be a link underneath this video. Go and check it out. But he's about to walk us through stuff he's talked about on the podcast and how he sees a price chart very, very naked. He's got fully clothed there, but he's very, very naked on the price chart. So Clayton, over to you.
All right. Well, I think I'm going to change it to the gold one, if you don't mind. I'll just change it to the gold one. So the first thing I'm going to do in gold is I'm going to go to my 4-hour chart. And the first thing I do is, what is the trend here? Okay, I don't need to draw trend lines. I don't like trend lines. You'll never see indicators on my chart. All I have to do is go here. And is it higher than it was when I started to the left of my chart? Is it an uptrend or a downtrend? That's an uptrend.
Yep.
Okay, from the very beginning. Okay, so I'm going to go there. I'm going to go to my daily chart next. And these are what I consider the higher time frame charts. The daily is the same thing, right? I'm higher right now than I was when my chart shows back in December of 2019. So I'm an uptrend on the daily. Would we all agree?
Yeah.
Or would Cam agree?
I would agree. I'd agree.
Okay, good deal.
It's going up.
I like agreeable when it's agreeable. Okay, so then I go to the weekly. We don't have to do trend lines. We can see pretty clearly on the weekly that it's an uptrend, right?
Yep, still up.
Okay, and then the monthly.
Yeah, that'll be up.
Pretty clearly an uptrend.
Yep.
Now it might turn. We don't know. So now that I have all 4 charts aligned to the upside, I'm going to look for entries. And I'm looking for buy entries because all the higher time frames are bullish, right?
Yes.
So this would be an example of my entry candle right here. Is that tail at the bottom there longer than the body of the candle?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so that tells me you have this level here at 1906, which was the high from 2011. That was the high of gold before we breached it recently. So you have a major support level, I would say, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's coming down and just testing that. Now you're seeing that it did what? It kind of dipped below there, but sellers are starting to get rejected, right?
Mm.
So my entry would be at the start of the next 1 hour candle right there.
Yeah.
So my entry would be what? Let's just put it there, right there. My entry would be at 1918 when that candle opens that next hour. You see that?
Yep.
And then if I wanted to place my stop would be below the tail. But what I don't want to do is I don't want to place it right at the tail, right? Because a lot of the times it'll come touch that area and then it'll go back up.
Mm.
So depending on what time frame, I'm going to place my stop probably $3 or $4. I say $3 or $4. Sometimes they say points, right? So it'd be 1902 in this case. And I'm going to place it down there just because I want to give it some room just in case it wants to touch that area again and then go up. But I know that this is an uptrend. And now if I take these trades, and you can see these trades I have on here right now, they're small trades just because I'm planning on buying all the way down to 1,500 if it goes down there.
Right.
I'll keep buying.
Yeah.
And so my target is going to be, my first target would be, I guess, here at 1939. And then I'm just going to start going back up to where the resistance levels are, right? Keep going up and doing that. And then my eventual target will be back up at the high at 2080 or something like that, and even higher. A lot of the times, once you get to a certain area, and we did that, let me go to a higher time frame chart here, a 4-hour chart. And you'll notice that it once it got to 2073 or somewhere up in this area, it just sat there for a long time and it couldn't make any progress, right?
Yeah.
That tells me that buyers are starting to get maybe moved out of the market. More sellers are coming into the market. A lot of the times these levels have to do what I call a wind up, right? In baseball, you wind up, the pitcher winds up, does this, and then boom, it goes up. Some people call it a liquidity grab, right?
Yeah.
So after a while, if this area is not able to breach this high, you come and you do a liquidity grab. And you can see it a lot in this 4-hour chart. It comes up here, goes back down, comes up here, goes back down, and then it hits the same level right here, hits it again right there, hits it again right there. So that's 4 times it's hit that level, right?
Yep.
I always say that the more times a level hits, the weaker it becomes. Like you can throw a baseball through a glass window and eventually it breaks, right?
Mm.
So eventually you had enough momentum, and I'll clear this out now. Eventually you had enough momentum that this level just broke, right? So what else I'm looking for on this, what I would have been looking for on this is higher highs and higher lows as well, right? This is a 4-hour chart. Here's that pattern we talked about. That tail is longer than the body of the candle. That would have been an entry right there. Then I'm going up here. I'm going up here. I see a break of this red level here, and then a pull back to the red level, right? Right here, there's another entry there. My tail is longer than the body. There's another entry up. It comes down and tests this area one more time with the same pattern, and then this is your entry, and then you go up. Now, if I'm looking to get out of this trade, I'm not getting out of this trade unless I see this pattern start to play out to the other side. And the first time I really start to see it do that is this candle right here, right? Now you have a wick at the top that's longer than the body.
Yeah.
So that tells me maybe buyers are starting to lose, but now I'm way up here, right? And I've gotten in at 1939 and I'm at 2034. So what I want to do now is let's just clear this out again. I want to place my stop in profit, but I don't want to, maybe down here, I just move it up. As it keeps going in my direction, I just move the stop up. I never get out of the trade because I want to see if I can get one of these big moves. So then you see that. But the other thing I tell people all the time too, this would have been kind of an indication that maybe it's starting to reverse to the bottom side, but I'm already up. If I got that first entry, let's just look at it again. At 1957, I'm already up 20 to 2021. So I'm up 800 points or whatever. I never reverse a winning trade to get into another trade. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so your reversal signal isn't an
It's not
entry.
valid because
It's
I'm
an
already
exit.
in the trade to
Yeah.
the long side,
Yep.
and I'm not giving up that trade
Yep.
and closing out for a potentially winning trade.
Yeah.
All I'm going to do is maybe move my stops up a little tighter, do things, but I'm gonna never will enter that trade if I'm already in these buys.
And at what point would you sort of exit that type of trade? So as we're going up there, you've moved your stop up. How does that eventually?
Well, let's just play these two that we have in here right now, and let's just play these out as we, because this entry on this move up right here is pretty much the same thing. So you have several different options. If you're up in this area and you have these two positions I have on there now, you have several different options you can do. You can close them all out, right? And just say, thank you, I've made enough. You can close partials. You could close this upper position like we were talking about earlier, in profit, or you could set your stop, up above it. This lower one I want to keep because I got a really good price for it. I worked my butt off for it, right? I want to keep that one. So maybe I just take this whole position out here and then I set this one in profit too, but I leave it for the higher levels. So there's different ways you can do it, and it all depends on people's mentality too. Some people don't like to hold them for a long period of time. I think I showed you that one I held from 1795 to 2053. So that was 2,600 points.
Wow.
And I held it for 3 weeks. So
Cool. Well,
it just depends.
Yeah, look, this is brilliant. So, guys, hopefully you enjoyed that and you picked up a few things. I sure did myself. Now, Clayton, what's the best way for the guys to get hold of you?
Ironman Futures Trading on Instagram is the only place I really talk anymore. And like I said before, I'm willing to answer any questions you have. I've been doing it for 17 years. And the main thing for me now is I want to leave the trading community better than I found it, because my time's coming to an end. I'm getting my PhD in forensic psychology, and I'm probably in the next year to 18 months will be moving on to that. Just a different challenge. And so my job now is, and I actually had a group for a long time, and one of my students came back to me the other day and said he has his own trading group now and he has his own signal service. I said, that's awesome. That's what we want. We want to teach you guys how to do this so that you can go out and pay it forward to other people. So that's the most important thing for me, is trying to help people get better so that they can go pay it forward. Because I had a lot of help. You've had a lot of help. All of us have had a lot of help. So for me, it's more about just leaving the trading community better than I found at this point. My time is almost up.
Brilliant. Well, look, thank you for coming on. And guys, do remember, if you do want to check out the podcast we did, which is fantastic, there's a whole bunch of psychological sort of tips and tricks in there as well that you must check out. There's a link underneath this. If you're here and you're ready to subscribe to the channel, or you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button, click the bell, click all, and you're going to get notified when future episodes like this come out. And we're going to get you back on here as well, aren't we, Clayton, to do a trading.
And Cam, we'll see. You can see those 2 entries right now, and it's going to be on there for everybody. We'll see in a few weeks if I'm treading water, if I'm not treading water, because I'll hold these for as long as I need to.
Oh, brilliant. So yeah, we'll get them back on for the Trading View Replay Challenge, and we can see how these played out as well. So remember that,
Sounds
Clayton,
good,
because I probably won't. All right, see you next time.
Everybody be safe. Thanks, Cam.
Good news, folks. I remember to check. So this is where we landed. So I'm going to draw a box around the candle that Clayton pulled up for us. So he entered on the, I think it was the hourly time frame. It was the one after this. So it was that one there, actually. Sorry, it was around about there. Let's just draw a box. So that's where he entered, and he said, look, I could be treading water. So we'll remember that was the wick that he was in. He entered around about here. He said, I could be treading water or not. So this was a few weeks ago. This is a 4-hour time frame. It's only a couple of weeks ago, sorry, actually. And what did he do? Yeah, he did tread water by about 400 pips, 500 pips maybe. But then it started to head in his direction. And it still hasn't broken that high, but it's definitely went up. That would have been another one of the candles that he would have got out on perhaps, or scaled out some of his position. But even if he'd still been there, I mean, he'd hit break even, and then it's still in profit. So he picked it. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Do remember, subscribe, hit the notifications bell, and we'll see you in the next one.